excitement of the arena now and chat to several of our gladiators in more relaxed surroundings. Where are they from? How did they become gladiators? Let's hear from Warrior first in our Gladiator Fact File.
Hi, this is Warrior here. Well, I was born 32 years ago in St Helens, which is in the county of Merseyside, and I used to go to a school called St Cuthbert's, where I excelled mainly in sports, rugby, athletics, football. I used to always captain the school team. I was head boy there as well. Thought I'd just get that one in. I did quite well academically. I went on to get an engineering apprenticeship, and I moved to South Africa for 3 years. I lived there and worked. I came home and I started to bodybuild. I started to excel in the bodybuilding world. I gained weight quite rapidly each year. That gave me got me into the position where I am today as a gladiator, because it gave me the start with the physique that I had. The agility and running ability came from my athletic days, decathlon. I used to do decathlon, which is the Daley Thompson 10 event regime. I played rugby league, Great Britain Schools Rugby League when I was at school, and then I moved on to English Colts Rugby Union, under 21s, and where I excelled. The main reason for me taking up weights really was when I came home from South Africa, I was really too small. I was still 16 stone, but I felt I was too small to take part in senior rugby, because you're playing against grown men. So I decided to take up a weight training regime to put some size on to help me in the position that I played, which was loose forward, second row. And I started to enjoy the weight training side of it more, and the rugby fell to one side. And then I went into more bodybuilding, excelled in bodybuilding. I've represented Britain in the European Championships, the Mr. Universe competition. And I was training to become a professional bodybuilder when I got the call to go and try out to become a gladiator.
I was born in Blythe in Northumberland, which is a small mining village by the seaside in Northumberland. I went to Camas County First School, which is a very small school by the seaside, and I had about 12 children in my class, very, very small school. Then I went on to Stakeford Primary School, and I stayed there until I was 11, when I passed my 11 plus, and I went to Bedlington Grammar School. I managed to obtain 8 O-levels there, English being my favourite subject, PE, didn't like PE at all. When I left school, I became a secretary, and I did little bits of sport. I did squash, badminton, running, cycling, but none of them I really enjoyed too much. And I decided to do some weight training, and I went along to the gym with my younger sister, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was one thing that I knew I really was going to be good at. And I think when you find something that you're good at, you go all out for it, and you achieve some goals, and that's what I did with bodybuilding. I'm Britain's most successful female bodybuilder, and I've won the Miss Britain title, the Miss Europe title, the Miss Universe title, and last year I won the Miss Russia title.
Hi, my name's Helen, and I'm going to tell you a bit about myself. I was born in Kilburn. I had a brother and sister. I was brought up in Southall, Middlesex. I attended a school called Featherstone High School, where academically I was fair. Physically, superb, I suppose. Track and field, shot put, javelin, discus. Middlesex champion in 100, 200 meters. At the age of 15, I left London and went to live in America with my mother. New York, of all places. The Bronx, of all places. Went to high school there for 6 years. Learned a lot, saw a lot. They say if you go to New York, you must see and learn things, otherwise it's just not possible to be there. Played American football, had a football scholarship to go to Cal Lutheran University, CLU, in Thousand Oaks in LA. Did advertising art and computer graphics. Played a bit of football. Tried out for the NFL. The Dallas Cowboys, went to Texas to try out as a free agent. Didn't make it there. So I went into Europe, Sweden, Germany, France, and trained third division teams. Brought a third division team from France to the second division, played in Germany, stayed in third division. came back to London. When I was at school, they called me Stretch. At the age of 15, I was about 6'1". Very big bone, but not too much meat in my body. When I arrived in New York, they used to call me Midnight, and the King of England.
I was born in Brighton in Sussex in 1963, so I'm 29 years old. And I first went to school in Thailand when I was about age 5. My father's actually an engineer. He was part of the United Nations organisation, and he was in charge of the construction of training centres in underdeveloped countries. So I spent a lot of my childhood actually abroad, travelling around, although we've always had the house based in Basingstoke, which my parents still live in. Yeah, I was age 5 when I started in Thailand. It was a nice experience. It was actually a British school called Bangkok Patana School. And I remember sort of the children being very wild, the uniform being green and white check and just wearing bare feet, and that was something I found hard to adjust to when I arrived back in England and started school in Basingstoke at St Bede's Primary School, having to wear shoes, and I remember having quite a few tantrums, you know, just wanting to be free and having to adjust that. But it was actually when I started primary school, about age 6, I started sort of excelling at athletics quite well, and it was actually my first PE teacher that first started me off in gymnastics, also to try and do athletics. I think I showed quite a lot of promise in athletics and gymnastics, and I joined the Basingstoke Gymnastic Club, won a lot of competitions. At the same time also started ballet, which I really loved, and in fact, like, one of my long-term ambitions as a child was to be a professional ballet dancer. The subjects I mostly disliked was probably maths, because I wasn't that great at it, but also I just didn't like the teacher.
I was born in North Ferriby, just outside Hull. I'm 20 years old, and I went to school at Archbishop Hallgate's Grammar School in York. My main interests were PE and art and music. But obviously you've got to do the academic subject as well. Well, I started playing piano at the age of 10, and I played that for about 2 years. Then I stopped that, and I was in the scout band at the age of 12. I played a side drum for a few years there, and then from that I progressed onto the drum kit, which I played at school for a while. Then I got my own drum kit, which I played for about 2 years as well. I started bodybuilding at the age of 12, after seeing Rocky 1, 2 and 3 all together at the cinema with my mum. We went there. It was a 6-hour bonanza, and we had sandwiches, and I wanted to become a boxer after that, but my mother didn't want me to become a boxer, so I thought, well, I can't do boxing, I want to build my body like Sylvester Stallone was, so I started bodybuilding after seeing that. Got my first set of weights that Christmas, and it just started from there. My first competition I went in at 15 years old, which was the local show, Teenage Mr. York. Then the year later, I went in Teenage Mr. England, which I won, and the Teenage North East Britain. Then I took a couple of years off bodybuilding and started powerlifting, which was just a change. And this year I've just recently won the Junior North East Britain, was runner-up in Junior Mr. Britain.